This video I wanted to compare the movie Encanto, which is one of the recent Disney animation films, to Mitchell's vs. the Machines. It's on Netflix. It's from Sony Pictures Animation, the Spider-Verse studio. Now these are both movies that I've only seen one time. I watched Encanto with a former friend of mine just in the past few years. I watched Mitchell's vs. the Machines by myself for the first time not long ago in the last 1 to 2 years. Now, I think that Encanto is a really good, enjoyable movie. I like the songs here. I think they're fun, catchy, and memorable. I like the voice acting. I like the story being told here about this girl named Mirabelle who feels like an outcast in her family because everyone else has powers, whereas she doesn't. Clearly, she's insecure about that. We also see, for example, at first, she is not all that happy with her sister Isabel because Mirabelle just sees Isabel as the perfect golden child, a Miss Goody Two Shoes who just does everything right, is flawless, never does anything wrong or has any kind of imperfections. But then as the movie goes on, Mirabelle realizes, oh, there's more to Isabel than that. She's not just a goody two shoes perfect child. No, she actually is just pretending to be that way in order to please her family. And also we see that once Mirabelle learns that something bad is going to happen to the house, she tries to warn her family because she cares about them, but overall they're not really listening, especially Abuela. I really appreciate, honestly, that Encanto doesn't present Abuela as someone who actually has any nefarious motives. She's not an actual villain, but she is an antagonist. We see that she has flaws, but at the end of the day, she does actually care about her family. It's just Abuela doesn't do a very good job of actually showing it. We see it. The problem with the family overall at first is that they've become so focused on helping other people that they're not willing to accept help from others. They have this toxic perfectionism because we help everyone else, but we don't want to be helped by other people. It's just a one-way street. But then by the end of the movie, we see the family has learned to overcome this toxic perfectionism so that imbalance has been corrected. And we also see Mirabelle mends her relationship with Abuela. I think it's really powerful. You get to the moment at the end where Mirabelle and Abuela finally really see each other in a way that they didn't before. I like how, because of what you learn about Abuela's past, because of what you learn about what she went through, it's like, I get where Abuela's coming from. I get that a lot of her actions are coming from a place of trauma, a place of pain. So you don't just, see Abuela as a bad person. No, it's like, okay, she's a flawed person. She has things that she needs to learn, for sure. But I also do understand where Abuela is coming from. And also, I think the animation in Encanto is really good. Admittedly, the fact that we're introduced to all these powers in the movie and it's not used to solve any physical problem. I mean, at the end of the movie, yeah, the house is repaired. We see that. But the house is not really repaired because of the powers. It's everyone pitches in and so they rebuild the house. So you have all these powers that are introduced and they're used for character development basically, but not to combat any threat. It's like, okay, that's an odd thing to do if you're going to introduce powers, but overall, I really enjoy Encanto. And then Mitchell's versus the Machines, just a fantastic movie. I think a lot of people out there are going to agree it's easily one of the best Netflix originals. Netflix originals don't have a very good track record. Plus, Mitchell's vs. the Machines is just one of the best animated movies to come out in recent times, period. It has just fantastic and interesting creative animation. It's not like when you watch Elemento and you say, of course, it's very well done animation, but it's more traditional 3D animation. It doesn't look all that interesting or that creative. It's like, yeah, this is a typical kind of animation that Pixar uses, but you watch Mitchell's versus the Machines, you go, this is really interesting creative animation that pops. Plus, the voice acting top notch, the story is compelling, you're engaged in the journey that our characters are on, the action is fun, the humor really hits. It's not just, jokes without any wit to them. There are fun references in the movie. And if I try to think of what are problems of Mitchell versus the Machines, I struggle to think of any. I mean, you could say that the setup for how the robot apocalypse happens maybe could have been handled better, but other than that, Mitchell versus the Machines is just so good. Thus, when I think about the question, which movie do I like more, Encanto or Mitchell versus the Machines? For me, I easily think Mitchell's versus the Machines is better than Encanto. But I'm not really throwing any shade at Encanto, however. That'll wrap things up for this video.